Yiannis Christodoulou, 2019 European and National Aquathlon Champion in my age group. And today I'm going to discuss what you should be thinking about doing when you do your long runs. Long runs have a purpose, of course. They build endurance, stamina, work the aerobic system, and you can get faster and you improve from it. But what can you do when you're running easy in your long runs to take your mind off things, but also to focus on something as well? Of course, you can listen to music and that takes your mind off things, but I'm talking about what can you be conscious about with like your technique, for example. It's a good time to work on something on your long runs because you're running easy. And from running easy, it allows you to relax and you can spend more thinking time of what you should be doing. So one of my tips that I do when I go out for my long run is I do like a systems check. So when I'm running, I just go by feel, see how I'm feeling. I listen to my breathing, although I work to heart rate zones. I listen to my breathing and see like how different a pace can increase it. So I'm very much in touch with my body. With that as well, so you know your breathing and you focus. I also think about my technique. So not only when you're focusing on your breathing, so for example, my breathing, I breathe in from my nose and out from my mouth, and I control it, try and control it in my long runs, and that will help me in my speed sessions. But apart from that, I was going to talk about technique. Now, what should you do? Now, with long runs, people just go out and they go out for their long runs and go out as long as they like, for example. But what do you actually focus on? I know you're focusing on training and stuff, but do you ever look at your technique? So what I say to my athletes and what I do is that when I go out my long runs, I'm conscious. So I'm conscious of my breathing, as I mentioned, and I'm conscious of my technique. Now, the first things I look at is my arm drive. Now, I look at the way my arms are moving and how relaxed they are. Now, I've been working on my arms recently because I've been told by Mark, my coach, that I'm a bit stiff in my shoulders. So I've decided to be more relaxed and with a 90 degrees arm drive, and I've tried working on that. And that's easy to do, working on like your arm drive while you're doing easy running, because you can focus on it a lot more than when you're doing interval sessions and you're doing that, like you're going really fast and you're pumping the arms away. So because you're more relaxed, you're able to focus more on your technique. So I look at the arms to see how the arms are moving, and it's easy for them to brush towards your hip, and yeah, that's the arms. Now, another thing that you can look at is what is your head doing. Now, a lot of people don't realise, a lot of people look down to the floor, they're looking up to the sky. You want to look straight forward in front of you. So when you're doing your long runs, just look straight forward in front of you, and you can focus from there. You don't need to look around, and make sure you don't want to be moving your head. Like I've seen a lot of people move their heads like that. That makes me sick. Oh, my head already. So that's another thing you can look at. Next thing is look at what your actual body is doing. So your core. Are you leaning forward too much? Do you want to? You need to come back a bit. So have a look at what your core is doing, and that's a very easy one again to focus why you're doing easy running. And the next thing is you can work on your legs. So you can see what your legs are doing in your long run, and with a long run your cadence does change. So bear in mind with that. So look what you're doing. Just like when you land on the ground, like for example, you can tell if you're heel striker and stuff, so you can focus on more like pushing off or landing in the midfoot, for example. But be careful, because you can change the top half, but the bottom half you have to be very careful with. But just be aware of what you're doing with your legs. Now, what I used to do when I was doing my long runs, I used to try and bring my knees up higher. So I used to focus on my knees being higher. But people focus on all different things. You can focus on longer strides, which are very good if you're marathon training or Ironman training. Longer strides, of course, will if you're doing marathons, a longer stride will help you by, if you lengthen your stride by a little bit, of course, that's so many steps less and makes you more efficient. You can work on your shortening your strides for your cadence. So just, you can be aware of things like that. So basically, when I go out for my long run, although I do relax and enjoy it, I do have a systems check, and I do look at what my body is doing and how I'm feeling, for example. And also another thing is your hands as well. A lot of people clench the fists or do that. Now I'm going to show you a little tip. Now, you should really be running like with a relaxed hand, like, okay, so it's relaxed, very similar like that, and you should be able to put a Pringle in there. So if you put a Pringle in there, it shouldn't snap and it should slot in there. Now, this is the thing, what you'll find is that if you put your hand like that, your other hand, grab your other hand, put it like that, you can see it's relaxed. Now, watch me tense. You can see when I tensed up already, that is already tensed up all there. You can see it straining, and it goes all the way up to here, and that can cause an injury. So that as well, that like that, for long distance runners can cause problems. So bear in mind, when you're running, you can look at that, you can look at your hands, see they're relaxed, and work on that. So there's loads of things you can do when you're going for your long run and relaxing. So it gives you more thinking time, and you're able to concentrate on something. So if you want to improve, like little things like that do help you improve, and can take seconds or, well, a lot of time off your PB. So I just want to say, I hope you found this useful. Thanks again for watching. Please comment what tips do you have that you do when you do your long, easy runs. And please subscribe to the channel. Thank you very much.
And the champions of this age group category, Henrietta Parasapic and Yiannis Christodoulou. Christodoulou.